Hi guys, welcome to the
Hi.
Unpopular Opinion. I'm Kemi,
Claire,
Cream.
and we're real,
Raw,
and
we're saying it all.
How's more energy? All right, maybe we can start with a quick check-in, but I feel like this check-in should be related to the topic because the topic. Actually, I'm just going to start it with a question that takes us into that topic. What is your view on what our responsibilities as people who have, because now, I mean, media is no longer just traditional media, it also includes the entire internet.
Yeah.
So, what do you think your role is as a person who creates content?
That's a loaded question.
Right?
It is.
Yes, I want to get us in the zone.
We are done jumping in the deep end, are we? I've never actually thought of what my role is in the media, because they're so. Anyway, I don't know. I think when it comes to my role is to inspire. I think that's okay. It's to inspire people to do better in specific situations where I've done better. So if I'm doing better in a specific area, I want to inspire other people to do better in that same, just help people's lives be a lot easier.
Okay.
Like we don't need to, my role is to inspire you not to suffer. Yeah, you don't need
But
to
also
suffer.
to teach.
friends.
You teach.
Yeah, I teach money, that you can actually make more money than you can be bolder, you can be more beautiful, confident. Yeah, just to help people be women specifically, be more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you feel your role is?
For me, it's ministry. It's ministry.
Expound.
I think like this is what I've always said. This is what I do. I feel like this is my way of contributing to the world and living it a better place than I found it.
Yeah.
It's my way of preaching the gospel. It's my ministry. I feel like each day when I wake up and talk about something, it's for like one person. I'm always just looking for one person to pick that message and go with it. So for me, yeah, I've always said this is my ministry.
Yeah, and also for you make us laugh, like you lighten our
Entertainment
day.
also there.
Entertainment.
You're literally healing the world one joke at a
So
time.
entertainment. Thank you.
And even now in asking it, I've realized it's a question we need to ask ourselves more as creators, because yes, you love what you do, you're a creative person who puts things out, but I think we need to ask ourselves more often what is actually
yours?
the role. Coming to that, what is my role in creating content? I feel like it keeps changing a little bit. I guess at the base of it, without talking about all the things it has kept changing into, I think at the base of it is it's to inform, on the area as well that I can inform to inform. I suppose entertainment is always a part of it. There's always an aspect of entertainment in some, whether you're doing poetry or you're making funny videos or you're doing a talk show. There's an element of entertainment, but also I think connection is very important for me. Like, a time when someone sends you a message and says, actually, you've talked about this thing and it has resonated with me in this way. And like that connection thing, I feel is there. Like, I feel like it's important to me. It often hits me the most, like deepest. And I'm like, oh, wow, if someone else is connecting, then even if
Your
I
earrings
connect
are so
to
nice.
someone, they're so nice. Thanks.
I keep swinging and I'm like, wow.
So yeah, I think I'd say those things. So recently I was hearing some people talking about content creators, and there was a bit of, some people were feeling uncomfortable about things that were said or heard on various shows. Calm down. But and it became a debate about what is our role. Should we be regulated on what we are saying? Actually, it was a whole thing. But now saying now we should, like there should be like caps on what they can say or what they can't say and whatever. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'd like us to talk about like what our duty of care. In law, it's called the duty of care. Like, do you feel like we owe something
To the public.
to you, the people that we create for?
I think we do. We do.
What's that?
For example, I can't wake up and probably just like utter, like say hate speech, or talk about like certain things. I'm saying I can't. I'm speaking for myself. But like I know that people, like, we've been given this responsibility, this platform. I've seen people in the comments saying things like, oh, Prim's energy changed, or Prim doesn't talk much anymore, blah, blah, blah. But that's because one day I woke up and realized the impact that my words had on people. You would bump into someone and they're like, oh, when you said this and that, it changed me, or it did this and that for me. I'm like when that hit me, I realized that I can no longer have the reckless, I can't be a reckless talker anymore. I had to bear responsibility to the people that hear the words that I say. So if I have a platform like this, then let the words that I put out be words of impact. Let these be words that make people better or make the world a better place. Since I've been given the privilege, it is a privilege for me to sit here and actually have we get 20,000 views, 20,000 people listen to me. It's a privilege. And one thing Claire taught us is that imagine a stadium of 60,000 people. So do you know what telling those people to maybe go and hurt another person could do?
Yeah.
Because we've seen people hurt others out of like, say, oh, this is what this person told us, and for us, we follow them, they're our idol, we do it. So knowing the platform you've been given, you do have to understand that you bear a certain responsibility to the people that consume that content. Whether it's 1,000 people or 2,000 or 4,000, whatever the figure, you have a responsibility, a duty to the people and whatever you put out in the world. Yes, you have your views, you have your opinions, but I do believe that in a way, I owe the consumers something.
I think yes, to an extent we do owe people, but I think it's what I owe people is truth, and goodness. Personally, I don't owe you authenticity. Because I can be as fake as I want to be.
Yeah, authenticity is also like relative.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can be as fake as I want to be. If I want to be a Barbie doll, I want to be a Barbie doll. That's what I want to be. And so authenticity, you're right, that's how someone says Claire is being authentic or Fiona is not being authentic. It's like, how do you know?
How do you know? Yeah.
How do you know? Only I can tell whether I'm being authentic or not, and I have the right to decide how authentic I want to be. I also think for example, I don't owe anyone, like I can inspire specific people, my audience, and then there are others that I can't inspire, but I can't inspire everyone. I don't owe anything to everyone. I owe a certain thing to the specific people that I'm talking to. For example, I can't speak into housewives. Do you know what I mean? I can't show you how I get housework done. I can't show you how, because I don't. I come home and my house is clean. I come home and food is cooked. I come home, how magically my clothes, I put them off, put them in the basket, and I find them in the wardrobe pressed. Does that make sense? So I cannot speak to, doesn't mean that's not happening in my home. It's just that I don't owe anyone. So when I say things like, I don't hand wash my clothes, I shall never be me, it can never be me.
You're being authentic, you don't.
I am being authentic. To me, it's not something I've never done. I have never done it. So when someone comes out and says she's lying, how do you know? And even if I am, do you know what I mean? So it's a lot of people were saying, this is dangerous for the world. I'm like, I'm still alive.
Also, it's just true.
It's just the fact. Exactly. That's the fact.
It's the truth, yeah.
You know what I mean? So some people think that I owe them telling people, teach your children how to wash clothes with their hands. But that's not my reality. That's not me. That's not what I've never done it. I wasn't taught either.
Having Dobby.
There you go. You understand? So that's my reality. And so a lot of other people were fear mongering, like, what if you die, and your child is going to suffer?
But not all
There's,
fans
you know,
have
but
suffered.
it's just something that people often we are only able to express as much as we've experienced. You're unable to express what you have not experienced. You get, so how the people say, I relate to Fiona, I don't relate to Claire. That's because Fiona's experience is
It's
similar
one you
to
have.
yours. It doesn't mean I'm not relatable.
Yeah.
There's so many people who
Relate
relate
to
to me and who
that.
relate to Prim. But because all of us have led completely different
Different
lives, I don't owe you relatability. You get, that is one of the biggest things that I have noticed. People think we owe them relatability. You cannot relate to my life if you have not lived it. And I cannot relate to yours. In fact, even with us, the three of us, the way we exchange our stories, we've come to realization that we completely grew up completely different ways, which is why sometimes we don't understand how that happened or how we think. Does that make sense? So one thing I decide, I do not owe anyone relatability. If you feel you relate to me, great. If you feel you don't relate to me, that's also great. You know?
We say dear at the same time. I feel like that cat that says meow when that other one is talking
yeah,
to
cat
it.
Prim. What about you, Fiona?
I think like listening to you guys has made me think we're living in such a unique time because before all of this social media creation, there was just traditional media, and it's easy, not easy, but easier to like have like already those set of rules that they're following, and then we came in, no one expected us to now have influence, that the things we say have power, not just purchasing power, but influence opinions and influence mindsets and stuff like that. So now we're in such a delicate place where now that we've joined the media space, we also have to adopt certain ethics. But the way they apply to us is also still different because as we're expressing opinions, for example, here, the person in the news has a duty to tell us the truth, research the truth and tell us what's happening, the real one. But now ours, my truth is not your truth, is not Claire's truth. Everyone has different truths of, just like you're saying, our upbringings or whatever and whatever. So I feel like we're all still doing the delicate dance of figuring out what it looks like for influencers. Like because
there's no manual.
There's no
manual. We are still figuring it out.
Producers telling us you can't say that.
Yeah, we're still figuring it out. And because I felt like people were so harsh. I mean, I don't know, by the time this comes out, this will be somewhere down the line. But this recent episode of Bump Love that went viral, I could relate on the side of the creators because people are like, oh, why did you bring this person? But like it's so delicate.
They cannot have guessed that this person is going to say.
I have no idea what they're going to share. So then
when they share, I don't have control
over what they're going to share.
Exactly. Talk shows actually in themselves.
But also, someone sent me a message and she's like, she expected me to say something about that episode. And the truth is that as toxic as I think that a lot of opinions that were shared by those gentlemen were, that is their truth. That is their opinion. You understand? He is not my husband. I am not his. There's a reason.
Weighed in like that.
Does that make sense? There's a reason. So I cannot have a strong opinion about someone else's opinion, especially if they're not connected to me in a personal way. And that's one thing I have. Yes, I would like you can't change those men. You understand? It's going to be very.
It's what Fiona is saying. It's different that is their opinion. But it's different when that opinion is whispered in your home with three people. With three people, after you've given them food and they've eaten your food and you're making small talk. It's different.
It is.
And then it's different when certain opinions are given on certain platforms that have such a very wide reach. So that's what we are now talking about. That's why we're asking, do we have a responsibility?
They are within their rights to express their opinion.
I mean, yes, of course, there's free speech for sure. I guess the conversation is also, what you're saying, but also what is, you see, because when I was hearing people debating about this, like people felt so strongly like, no, let's limit these creators. They can't just be saying all these words. Because I guess they're also feeling like, because I've disagreed so strongly with this person, I don't want my child to hear that and think it's the truth. People started saying, because I know one of those gentlemen is a mentor. People are like, I don't want this one mentoring and this and this and this. And yet the creators of the show have only so much they can do to control what other people say. They invite you to express something and they may disagree with it. They may agree with it. And yet, so I think that also consumers have a responsibility. I think as we're in the unique position of being both consumers and creators, that we can appreciate both ends. That as a creator, a consumer, I also have to pick and choose. I can disagree, and there's going to be so many things to disagree with in this world. I can disagree and unfollow. I can disagree and be like, anyway, it's fine. Still, I'll come back next time and we discuss and we disagree. Maybe we can disagree respectfully. So also I think consumers, sometimes let's ask ourselves, if something has hurt you, it's okay to have an opinion. You express, you say, but doesn't mean this person was wrong because 1, 2, 3. Maybe me, I'm a feminist, I didn't agree with this, and that's okay. What I didn't love is that now you maybe drag the show in some way.
Or drag the people.
Well, to be fair, we can't control any of them, but...
Yeah, we can't. But, I mean, they're not bad people.
No.
I always say that just because I have an opinion that you don't agree with doesn't mean I'm a bad person.
Three inspired souls brought together by love are set on a life-changing journey.
This is your life, Mackenzie. This is no longer a dream.
It's just something about Mackenzie.
I'll never marry you.
Your position does not allow you to break work relationship rules.
Where choices change everything. Crossroads, weekdays at 8 p.m. on Power Magic Prime. DStv channel 148, GoTV channel 303.
I had something about, which book was I reading? It ends with us. In the book, the one of the main guy, that guy says, or is it the guy or someone else? Anyway, someone says that they're no bad people. We're just people who sometimes do bad things. And so, anyway, but I also understand, like, in that, like a nuance, in that moment when you watch that thing and you're just triggered. I won't lie, maybe some things I had them and I was like,
I was triggered. That's the truth. But the thing is, what I was going to come to is, where does it? Because I say what I say, you say what you say. One thing I've learned very recently is that I am responsible for my triggers. You can't, when I realize something is triggering me, I need to search within and figure out why. You get? Because this person is living their daily life. They are happy, but for them, just because they've opened their mouth and said something, you're triggered. You get? The responsibility is on you, the triggeree. To figure out. So when I watched that episode and people asked me what my opinion, I was like, listen, I was only able to watch 15 minutes. Again, I stopped somewhere because I realized it triggered me, because that was on me. You get? That was on me. I could not let myself be triggered anymore into anger. And then I also did not go and drag any of them on social media. You understand? Because I also know that there are people who love that person. That person is not a bad person. They have opinions that trigger me for some reason. There are so many people who agree with this person. You get? Even women, by the way. Even women that agree with him. So was he wrong or right? An opinion is neither wrong or right unless it's bad. Does that make sense? Unless it leads to negative. So listen, there's a lot of nuance in it. You get? So my responsibility as the viewer of something that triggers me is I just exit and that's it. And move on. Also, then I tried to figure out why I was triggered. You get? And I went to my therapist. It was a conversation for that 1 hour. I was with my therapist. It was a conversation because then I'm going to be triggered by everyone I see saying, doing the things that I'm triggered about, which then you are the problem, not the other person. Does that make sense? Not the other person. So that's one thing that I really want to put out to the audience, is that you have a responsibility as well to deal with your triggers. We are not responsible as content creators, as the media personalities, as whatever. We're not responsible for anyone's triggers. Because if we were,
I feel like we're responsible for what we are putting out clear.
Yes. There are some specific ones. Like if I was talking about sexual abuse or whatnot, that's fair. Okay, but then there's trigger warnings of if I'm talking about something that is... There are triggers that are very obvious. There are those ones that are very obvious. Abuse, those ones are obvious. I get those. But then there are those, you trigger someone just because you're confident. I'm sorry, I can't. What do I do for you? because they are there.
I think there's also,
You get what I mean?
you know, on your show, on Kampala Cream,
Yeah.
if you didn't know already,
It's
Claire's a
coming
big
back.
fan. And the new season, July,
July 28th, 29th.
It's
28th.
28th.
they'll be back
28th.
really, really soon.
There's a new season.
Yeah. And there's that, I remember there was that like confrontation
Yeah.
where who said something
Tanya.
about somebody else,
Zahar.
about their family. Yeah. Said something about her family.
I
or
don't know.
her-
I don't remember, but I know that
I
don't
Tanya
think
said
so.
that Zahara had said
like
something
made a
on her
comment
show.
or something on a show.
On her show, yeah.
And so
On
she,
a separate
And she
show.
was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And she's like, you know, I have like family and they're like hearing you say those things
yeah,
about
but, like
me.
it's affecting me in
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
So there's also now that that context of personal stuff. Of like, because me, I've always had a problem with gossip shows because the line is even blurry. If the line is already
blurry.
complicated, I don't know now what is gossip. Because now me, I'm like, okay. So and yet there's a whole audience who is
Industry,
like,
yes.
But like
Bring
so
it.
many people, so many people. I mean, you just have to start with like your friends that will probably ask you about Prim or Claire or Fiona or so. Like, let me tell you something. There's a time I was just like, I was very curious. Like, why is it that people want this information, this personal information about others? And someone was just, I thought there was like some depth to it. I think someone was just like, no, entertainment. They just want to be entertained.
Yeah, I was
By
actually
the way,
telling
that's
someone
it. And then they know an information and
I
move on with
remember-
their life. They're not going
Man,
to
that
do then
answer
anything
freed
with
me.
it.
That answer freed me. Like
Yeah.
now, I feel
Not
like
that
I now realize it's not that deep. Exactly. It's like, why are you curious about my life to this extent? I mean, why would you be asking my landlord for information about me? And they're like, just entertainment. They just want to go and discuss it in a group, and then
move
that
on.
answer freed me because now I feel like, okay, now I don't feel bad. Like
I give
oh,
them
yeah, when I
entertainment.
receive a screenshot of this person is asking, oh, what happened here? What did you do today? And I'm like, I just realized that Bambi, they don't even have ill intentions. They just want to
know.
be entertained. So
Yeah.
yeah. So there's like a whole group of people that consume that kind of media. Literally 90%.
it's a whole industry. I think
a
of
whole
its own. It's
industry,
like a
yes.
mini
But
industry.
also,
Yeah.
it takes us back to the fact that as someone who held that platform, as someone I feel like who was presenting on that platform, they had, because it wasn't just, Itania was justified to feel how she felt, right? Because, and she wasn't also the only person that, you know, these things were said about, like, on that particular show. I mean, like, it was, for those who used to watch it and catch it, it was vile. You get, like, the things were, so that's where it brings us back to the point of, do you think these people had a responsibility to the people they were saying these things about?
Of course.
We
I
should,
think
like,
if you're
but then-
talking about...
But also Zahara's point. Zahara also made a point and said, I am just a presenter. I'm not the producer. I don't compile this information. Actually, I watched that episode when they were repeating it. I watched it. I was like, but I'm not the producer. I am told what to say. I am not. She's like, I don't even remember saying this thing.
So what
told
then
to say.
happens is that now your personal ethics have to come into play. Me personally, I can never.
But you see, the producer of the show is like,
be-
let's make money.
No, I understand.
things make
That's where
money,
now
Claire.
ethics. I know they make money,
And they
but
bring
now,
viewership.
so which means that for me personally, I can never be in a place where people are talking about. Even this conversation is actually a very big line for me. You get? I don't talk about other people, not on public spaces. If I want to talk about you, Prim, I will go in a private WhatsApp group. Even that's very, very. That's not me. I'm not in. Does that make sense? That's my personal ethics for me. I'm not judging people who do. To be fair, I am. I am, but not harsh. Like, listen, do you? You get? I can't be hired now for me onto a show just for money. We talk about other people. That's me. You get? But then now Fiona can decide. Yay, how much is it? And then the producer will say, so this person, that person, that person. You go and if however true, however not true, I cannot talk about people specifically. I don't talk about people. It's an ethics. Now that's where your personal ethics come in. Does that make sense? They are there. Yeah, the industry for gossip is there. That's the truth, and it makes a lot more money than even ours. It makes a lot more money. So if we wanted money, by the way, we could just talk about people. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But personal ethics but also people choose different things for different reasons. So that I also understand. Like the reason why we chose Unpopular Opinion instead of gossip blog unpopular gossip or whatever, you know, that the reason why we chose to go this way is because our ethics, the three of us, our ethics are completely different from now. Someone else is going to decide to start something that literally all it does is talks about other people. Does that make sense? Yeah.
But the media, the media has a responsibility towards
true.
people, and
Yeah.
I think we agree.
and it's not just the mainstream media as to,
But I
but
think
it's
just
also
that-
because, for example, it's why you see when you're watching shows on DStv. I was recently watching Game of Thrones, no, House of Dragons, and there was a very explicit scene, and Ruth was there. There was an explicit scene. I had to literally just stand up, press a different button until I change to Pearl Magic Prime or whatever it is you watch, and I left like in shame. The fact that when you're watching a show like House of Dragons, you can't predict what the next scene is going to be and what it's going to show, right? It was because these people had gone to what do they call them? They had gone to like a brothel, and so they are showing everything that's happening, and you can tell that the camera is spanning from one place to another, and it's to just show you the different things going on, right? I just stood up and left. But I love that when you are watching, for example, you see how Power Magic Prime is it's for Ugandan shows, blah, blah, blah. I like that as our Ugandanness and our cultures and values, you know that you can sit with,
And you
a
won't
child
find
of
that
15 years old, and
sexy.
you don't have to be like this, of I love the show, but I'm also not sure what's coming in the next scene.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
You know, son, you will start and anger, there's no kiss there. You will never see any lips touching.
Yeah.
You just think that they love each other, they show you how the person's eyes look like this, and then they emphasize the eyes, zoom in, like Indians, zoom in, and then it goes away. That's the same thing you've seen with also like Korean shows. They will not show like explicit, scenes and stuff like that. So, and that comes down to the fact that those people's values are also very important to them. They are very, as if, I don't know how to define it, but they are very, not very like sexual context kind of people and stuff. So it also is, so I like that when probably these guys were starting their station and they're like, we're going to do Power Magic. It's going to have Ugandan shows. Because trust me, I watch from, I think, between 8 and 10 p.m. for me is my biggest, especially because the lineup of the shows that, come. But it's good to know that these are shows that can be watched by, let's say you're 15-year-old, you're 18-year-old, 13, you understand. And there's no fear of there's a bomb that's going to drop. Someone's about to go naked anytime or say certain things. So whoever writes these shows, whoever they sell them to, whoever markets them, everyone has a responsibility, even if it's not really written down in ink, towards their viewers. And whether it's said or not, someone at least knows. And
yet, have you noticed that because again, to your viewers, you get the responsibility is to your viewers. Yes, which is why even Power Magic will have PGs. You get, this is suitable for a 13-year-old. This is suitable for adults. They will have trigger warning. This scene, this episode contains scenes of sexual abuse, of physical abuse or whatnot, or even spiritual. Then you as the audience decide. The same way we decide with mainstream media that this is not for me. I've only just started getting into Ugandan content now as an adult. I was never allowed. You know why? Because of the toxicity. You get those things of backstabbing, simanya, witchcraft, whatnot. Our parents never used to allow us to watch.
What did you guys used to watch? Because those things
We never used to watch.
We just never used to watch TV at all. Oh,
We never used to watch Ugandan TV.
what even TV shows out there have backstab?
No, so not the
witchcraft.
witchcraft, kuloga, those things that any African content. When I only just started getting into African
so clearly,
content
we won't be taking you to any shrines anytime.
Miss me, I'm joking. Anyway, so so our parents decided for us what we can and what we cannot watch. You understand? So even for themselves,
DStv
you
has
can't
parental
find my
control
mother
now, by
watching.
the way.
It has parental control. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is that because currently the more casual content is not governed, we need to govern ourselves as content creators and as the audience.
But doesn't that now, if you, for example, when you're leaving your children at home with, say, the house managers or nannies, do you see how it's difficult to know what they're watching? Because my friend told me her daughter now sings Hozambe.
TikTok.
Her 2-year-old.
It's very difficult to control it now.
Hozambe.
It's very difficult to control it now. It's kind of like also the question of do we have the responsibility to be role models to young
There's a
children?
time one celebrity was like, someone was just like, oh, why do you dress like that? What do you do? Because you're a role model. Actually, she's like, no, I don't owe your children
Yeah.
a
She's
role model.
right.
She put a statement like, I don't owe your children role models or something like that.
She's
As in-
right.
To an extent.
No, listen, I will be a role model, yeah,
By the way.
for who I want to be a role model. You don't get to tell me who I'm a role model for. And that's the beauty about
This
human life.
Are you
I
saying that
get
people
to choose.
decide? Are you saying that
You
people
don't
decide
get
to
to
put you on
choose.
that pedestal?
No. I've put myself on a platform, not for your children, but for people like me. You get.
But now what if
And
those people that
knowing
like
in your
you feel
mind
disappointed?
that your content is open to all.
Again, keep your kids safe. It's not up to me.
Yeah.
You get. And this is coming from someone who has a child. I keep my kids safe. It's not your responsibility, Preem. It's not your responsibility.
You don't think to one extent it is?
No. Why would I keep a responsibility of my child to someone else?
It's not that you're giving them all the responsibility. You don't think there's like a duty of care?
I think one of the reasons, for me, one of the things that changed, that made me change how, like,
Unless you are a kids channel. That's different.
I think even without
No,
being
even
a
without
kids
being a kids
channel,
channel, because let me
just
tell
in
you-
being a
yeah.
human,
yeah.
there's
Even me, like, one of the things that made me
it's
change,
not 100%.
yeah, how I dress is that
there's-
I kept, and the things that I say, I used to say, like, fine, not like dangerous things, but I used to be say things like the way they are. Until I kept meeting moms and like, oh my God, my daughter follows you and she loves you so much. Then I remember when we'd be like doing double this pop-up. This, like, oh, my 17-year-old daughter is the one who told me about this event here. My 17-year-old child follows you. I remember the time I met a mom and I spoke to her for a while. She's like, oh, my daughter follows you, blah, blah, blah. I remember feeling like there's a 17-year-old in this audience. There's a 15-year-old who once sent me a message, like, oh, I love your content. You've inspired me. You've made my teenage years easier. I said, there's a 15-year-old in this audience. So the things I've been saying, the jokes that I make about, say, sex, the things that I just say for, like, I felt like, my goodness, I owe this child, whether they are 2 or 3 children in my audience that are that age, I owe them a better Preem, I swear.
Listen, so my thingy is this. My thought is this, yeah? And even in the cinema, there's content that is for UCC itself goes and says this is for kids, this is for not kids. If your child as a 13-year-old goes to that cinema and watches an 18-year-old movie, who do you blame? UCC? They've done their due diligence.
I think the challenge is that we're looking at it as extremes. No one is saying that it's the creator's responsibility to not take your child to the cinema. No, I think that's an extreme. And I think we can all agree that
No,
definitely not
what
that.
I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, the responsibility was 100% on the parents. But if I've chosen to do content that is not at all child-friendly, that is entirely my choice. You get, it is entirely. Kim Kardashian, there's a Kenyan woman I follow that is legit, literally, she has a very beautiful butt. It's always on the internet. You get, that is not content. That is 100% her right to create content that she has kids, by the way. She also has kids. She has 2 children. You get, that's what I'm trying to say is that it is not the responsibility of the creator.
But I feel like
especially
if we let it be like that, then the world would just, I swear, run with whatever.
But it already
and someone
has.
just says,
They respectfully
me, I'm not
But
doing
it already does.
Someone
it
is just
already
like,
does.
I don't owe you
So what are you going to go to
this
those
out.
people and say, stop creating this content because it's not good for my child?
No, of course we
You're like,
acknowledge that
it's
we
not
don't
good
have
for
control
children.
over
Yeah,
anything.
we don't have
I think
control.
what we are also saying
But that means
is
we're
that
limiting people's creativity.
but Claire, the freedom, you see, that's the interesting thing about freedoms. they are wonderful, but they also have
How
a
do
price.
you use them?
And how
Yes.
do you utilize your freedom? Of course, we can't stop any of these things. 100% people will continue creating porn, but 100% they're going to keep doing it. I just think that in our journey to become maybe better, if we can all realize that we have a little bit of responsibility.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing.
The response,
To
because
the-
all
to
of
the-
us are
because when you create a platform, even the word influence, it's just like,
Thank you.
bro, we actually have some level of influence.
But
on
what kind of influence do you have? Positive
that's
or
the
negative?
thing that you are saying, that some influence should be allowed and others shouldn't be allowed.
We're not saying that a law should come because
No,
that's
I know
what
you're
it
not
tells
We
us.
saying
won't
it.
censor
won't
you, but we
say-
just
But as
be like
individuals,
Yes, as an individual, you get, but you don't get to decide what
Of course I don't
who
get to
I
decide.
get to
No, we don't.
influence.
There
Does
we
that make
can agree.
sense?
We don't get
So
to
that's what I'm
decide.
saying, is that yes, you have a responsibility, but I choose who I have a responsibility to.
I think
Because
that's
it's my
dangerous.
choice. Why?
right?
Who chooses then?
That's just what I'm saying. If we all pick and choose, and yet the truth is we can't choose because our audience is, it's everyone.
Yeah.
Then how can we possibly say that we are choosing, that
Yeah.
you're choosing your
We'll
audience?
just choose
If your
like,
audience
yeah.
is not chosen.
Otherwise,
it's
Claire will be
literally
talking
everybody.
about everything and anything.
It's
We'd even
literally
be
everyone.
performing
example-
certain acts
for
of this show where we're
example-
just like, please take your child away.
For example, they are
As this
they
show
are
starts.
saying us that have decided their internet, their content is to show people how to have better sex. Yeah, it's not bad in content. It's not for children. Does that make sense? It's not for children for sure. It's borderline porn. Their content is actually helping people. You get, but someone else is going to say, but my children are watching this. Does that make sense? So what I'm trying to say is that I have a responsibility. Keep in mind that I am a mom and I don't create content that is not for children. You get, my content is, my ethics have chosen me to create the kind of content I create. I'm just saying, the same way you have liberty to choose who you get to influence, someone else also, there isn't a cap. You understand? Because each of us is only led by our own personal compass, not your compass. Because your compass is different from mine.
I get that.
You
I
get,
just don't
so
think we
where-
get to
But
choose
we
who
also have
serve.
like as if a common denominator,
Yes,
right?
you're
Do you
serving
believe
a
that
specific
it's different,
people.
but we also have like a common, like, you know how you say, we have a place where we
We
have
stop.
some certain lines. Like,
And I think
there
in doing
are
that, then we are
unspoken-
agreeing because we don't say that we are not. But then
Uh-huh.
in deciding to do so, it's
As
because
a
you know in the
world,
back of your mind,
as a
I
people.
have a responsibility.
Yes.
It's
No,
not your full
but again,
responsibility because, of course, it is the parent. To all.
To
unfortunately.
everyone.
Okay,
To everyone.
but in the example I have given about the Senga, yeah, this person's responsibility is to couples who want to
It's
have
sex
sex.
improvers.
As long as it's open
You get,
content,
who are
guys, it's to
having
all.
sex, which means exactly it's to all, which means
But
that
that's why
for
she draws
them,
the line of not having sex right there on screen just to show you.
no, of course, now there's no one is ever going to have sex on really,
Ah,
unless you're in the porn,
say
which
that
is
too.
illegal.
The porn
You
industry.
get,
It's, no, the
which
porn
is-
industry is not
it's
illegal.
illegal in
the US
Uganda.
It's illegal.
It's,
Hey.
it's illegal in Uganda. You get, but it's also ethically, porn is not exactly something you're just going to put out there. But Senga shows that was actually the perfect. There's nothing wrong with sex. Absolutely nothing wrong with sex. If I've chosen to talk about sex, it automatically
But I think-
disqualifies under 18.
But I think it's why the government doesn't allow sex education in our schools, because they feel like
because it's
they
porn.
have a responsibility to us to tell us to not come and put food in the syllabus.
But that's what I'm saying is that
Imagine.
there's a limit, but who draws that limit? You, me. You get, that's what I'm saying is that you cannot draw the limit for me. I draw the limit.
Man,
for
I would really
me.
like to hear from our audience. I would like to hear from,
Yeah.
especially people who watch us. Like, do you guys feel like we have like a
What
responsibility to you? Like,
And what is it?
And what is it?
Yeah.
What is it? Because like Claire said, that whole thing of like, oh, you're not authentic. Do you feel like we owe you that? Do you feel like
Authenticity.
then the
Relatability.
yes, because let's even also talk about the consumerism that we have peddled as an industry.
Yeah.
Like you find today you're like, guys, oh my god, I love Vaseline. Tomorrow, guys, oh my god, I discovered this. Guys, and you
Dove.
understand the
The
consumerism
other
that
dates.
they are blaming the influencer industry for.
Yeah.
And obviously influencers also just like, as in me, I'm just putting here and telling you that I bought my Vaseline for you. Why you
Yeah.
Who are
Is it
you?
now our
Is it-
responsibility?
Am I the one to say, let me, guys, I've made you buy this whole week, let me chill. Then the whole, they're buying luxury bags. People are just like unboxing my Louis Vuitton bag, unboxing my this and that. Do you feel like creators should have a point where they're just like,
No more.
like
Guys,
no,
stop
like
here.
a brand comes and you're like, I just made them buy last week. Let us please save their pockets. It's like with clothes.
Yeah.
And yet people are also like, for us, like creators are getting things for free, and for us they are making us, But I have a friend who says, and that's where now Claire's point comes in of, but I'm not the one picking the money from your pocket and saying go and
You have a
and
choice.
buy. You have a choice
Yeah.
to save. But also,
but
there are times you guys, like in these
psychology.
times, I feel like, let me tell you something, in these times, there are times I'm just like, I would like to share about this, but I'm just like, no, I swear.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, people are broke, people are going through the most, like we are just trying to all struggle
There's
and
so many
survive.
things you have to
So I'm just like,
stop.
Prim, no, you're not going to talk about this. Like, even if yes, it's content, keep that one quiet. Yeah, so for me, that's a form of responsibility.
Yeah.
That's a form of responsibility.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's
I
one of those.
met a creator that was like building the most beautiful house, but she's like, I can't show this. You get, because it's just no. You get, like, there are things, even me, there are things I'd stop myself from sharing because
There's so many other people that are not in that place, and they'll feel like
actually more
they feel a
people
certain
are not
way.
able to either afford it or whatnot. And I'm like, this is not the image I want to put out as me.
But yet there's someone who subscribes to the thought of,
Just
I'm not
put.
hiding my abundance.
Yeah.
I am not
Yeah.
hiding my
Yeah.
blessings.
Yeah.
So
Clearly, there's a lot to dance around in this topic, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's those conversations of, ethics topics can never end, and I think they have to be had over and over again for us to keep on thinking about what is your role, what is my role, how do we just do better, disagree but do better. So we definitely want to hear from you guys. Please let us know in the comments what Prim has asked. What are you guys expecting of creators? When I had people debating, I was like, it's interesting. What are guys expecting when they come on this internet and consume a talk show, I don't know, reels, whatever. Like, what responsibility is it that you think, that you feel we owe you? But also, have we got you thinking about what role you have in what you consume and what your children consume and like literally all of those things. So let us know, and we'll even push the conversation onto Instagram a little bit. I feel like it's a loaded topic that we can keep going on with. So let us know, and while you're at it, just subscribe. Really, you watch 45 minutes of an episode and you don't subscribe. What's the problem?
Why? What did we do to you?
Please, look, we're in a good place.
They don't
Nzou
owe you
Media Hub.
subscription.
Can't you? That's one of the things. I differ. You
Even
owe us
as
a
our
subscription.
viewers.
Today we even said we're taking a list of all these guys here behind the camera so that we can check if they've subscribed to the channel. Because I think it's important.
This is a relationship at this point. It feels one-sided if you have not subscribed.
Seal this deal and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also listen to us on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, so the conversation on this thing definitely cannot end. Ethics things, there's always so many diverging opinions. And we definitely want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments. What is it that you are expecting from this side of the camera? What are you expecting from the people who create content for you? But also, have we got you thinking about what your role is in the consumption of content, or the content your kids consume, or any of that? We want to hear about it. Maybe we'll push the conversation over to Instagram. Let us know. And a good reminder that Kampala Cream is back, you guys. That's your favorite reality show.
Can't wait. I cannot wait.
I'm sure Claire will giving us some updates. Claire will giving us
I actually
28th July.
Yes. Oh,
So,
I can't wait.
plug in.
Best show in this country.
Yeah, PMP is now on Access, guys. Power Magic Prime. You can get it on Access for 50,000 shillings. So 50. You add 5,000.
With your charges or
For 50,000 shillings, you can join the
I'll just
party.
pay 45, then the 5K, I entertain myself in the I'll just
The balance.
let me just dance for myself in the 5K, then I'll just be like, mumpe yo ka package ka 45, then etano, njakuze nziniramu, nekolere show
I'll
yange.
entertain myself.
I'll entertain
You
myself
pay
in
for
the
data
5K.
and watch TikTok so that you can see the updates.
Not even that, I'll just be dancing for myself
Oh, I
in the
can't wait for
5K, in the
Kampala
balance.
Cream. Excited.
It's in the works.
I'm so excited.
But
End
yeah,
of this month, just a
Canada
few
did a
weeks.
thing.
Also, guys, do not forget that our live show is coming up very soon, 7th of September at the Skies, Nakuru Skies Hotel. We're going to be there. If you were at last year's show, you know everyone
It
just
was a very
comes
good show.
beautiful, such a wonderful show. And this time we are talking to the gentlemen sitting on the round table. It's not going to be round, but you know what I mean.
With maize like this, as you Congo and maize, we're like,
Tell us why. Anyway, so we want to talk about, we want to bring gentlemen on the show because we feel like women and men are doing like this. And what we want us to do is do like this because women can't live without men, men can't live without women. It's just
come
a
with your
thing.
boxing gloves, come in your workout gear.
I mean, it won't be like that.
We're not arguing. We're not coming to argue. Yeah, we're just coming here to talk, understand
Take your
each other.
anger
align.
suppressants the night
Yeah,
before.
go to anger management class before.
During this month.
So if you have any questions that you want to direct to a man, a responsible man, we're going to have four guests on the show, gentlemen, that we're going to be talking to. And if you have any questions for us to ask them, put them in the comment box below so that we can write them down and ask.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and just follow us on Instagram for more updates on what's going on with that. As in, the countdown has begun, really. The countdown has begun. The ticket link is in the description box. We will see you there. Subscribe. Bye.
Bye.